Slater Crusaders, what an honor to talk to our guest here, Iranian-born American Saghar Erica Kasraie. And I not only mispronounced your name, Erica, misintroduced you before. You're now with the National Iranian Congress and the Victor Marx Group. Can you take a minute or two and explain what both of those things are for us?
Well, as you know, I've been researching human rights violations, and specifically in the Middle East. And the National Iranian Congress is an organization that is promoting a free, democratic Iran. They have proposed a draft constitution for the day after the collapse of the Islamic Republic. We need a plan to move forward. Yes, everyone wants the regime to collapse, but what happens the day after? We don't need another power vacuum that happened in Iraq after the collapse of Saddam. So the Iranian opposition is thinking through the next steps, and it is a great privilege to be an advisor to the National Iranian Congress, and it's a great privilege to work with Victor Marx. Victor Marx is someone who I admire. They're a team that has come alongside of me to help me to get the message of the Middle East out. So
beautiful. I'm so glad we brought up the National Iranian Congress, and there's a plan after the power vacuum. So let's start from this. What would it take for the regime to collapse internally? Because I don't think, I don't think America has an appetite for an external war, like boots on the ground with Iran. I don't want that. I don't know how you feel about that. So first, what do you think about external collapse? And second question, what would it take to have an internal collapse?
Well, let's just take Iraq for a moment. We do not want to repeat the mistakes of Iraq. I do not support war. And I do believe that by eliminating Qasem Soleimani, Trump has moved the regime closer to collapse. Why? The regime is very weak at home. They are not respected by the governed. And this is not a fight for the American people. This is the fight of the Iranian people. And, we are watching right now the Iranian people rising up and saying to Khamenei, if you listen to their chants, you're hearing them say, death to Khamenei, death to the Islamic Republic. We don't want an Islamic regime. 40 years of crimes. Go. They want them to go. What is it going to take? I wish I had a crystal ball, but I think that if the military, the military and the IRGC are two different organizations. The IRGC was set up to protect the Islamic Revolution. The military is a complete different entity. I would call on the military to stand with the people, just like, in Egypt. And right now, because we don't have correspondence in Iran, we have social media. President Trump has made it very clear. We're watching you. The eyes of the world are now on the Islamic Republic. So when the people have, I think, it's the right of the governed when the government is no longer protecting the people. They need to step down. Are they going to go away willingly? I don't know. That's a complex issue that's not in my pay grade.
If and we pray when there's an internal collapse, you speak of this constitution that's already ready to roll. What's in it? What's it modeled after? And et cetera.
It's analogous. I don't know if I'm saying that word.
That's right.
to the U.S. Constitution. The first and most important article of this Constitution is freedom of religion, which is the most important pillar of a democratic society, of a republic. Iran has 33 provinces, and each province would have its own, just like we have a federal government here. Each state has its own sovereignty. It's very similar to the U.S. Constitution. Look, there are a lot of opposition groups who have worked diligently to try to bring awareness about the lack of freedom and democracy in Iran. And I would call to, my plea to the Iranian opposition is for us to unite, come together, and show the world that we have one message: the Islamic Republic has to go. There needs to be a referendum with free and fair elections to decide what kind of government that the Iranian people want. It is not something the United States can propose. It is something that the Iranian people must decide. We just have to stand with them and support them and make sure that we're being truthful and factual about what is being reported. Because when some media outlets put out misinformation, it distorts the truth and it brings the morale of the people down. That media is not listening to them. So that's really the reason why I'm even speaking out now. God's given me this platform, and it is my privilege and an honor to be able to speak their message. And the message is that Iran wants to be free. Iran wants to be free and free to make friends with the United States, with its neighbors, and frankly, get rid of a nuclear program that is not only dangerous for the country, but for the world.
Any videos or pictures that you have that you want to help get out there, please send them our way. We will gladly, happily spread them any way we can. My last question for you, Erica: what's different culturally? What are the cultural differences between Iran and maybe other countries in the Middle East even? What makes Iran unique?
What makes Iran unique? I don't want to have a nationalistic sort of approach this question. What I will say, the difference, a huge difference in living in America and practicing American culture, but also holding on to my culture. The people of the Middle East really hold on to this honor we have. It's honor and shame. In America, we have a very individualistic mentality, whereas in the Middle East, we're very tribal. So when you do something shameful, you bring that shame not to yourself, but you're bringing it to your family, to your tribe. And so I would love to be able to see how we can bridge the gap and celebrate this honor-shame dynamic that is so prevalent in the Middle East. And, the Iranians, we're very hospitable. We love to invite you to eat with us and celebrate with us. I don't know if you ever saw that Anthony Bourdain special where he went to Iran and celebrated the culture of food. I would say that Iranians are known for making great food and hosting. So if you're ever in the Washington, D.C. area, I would love to invite you and your wife to my home for some home-cooked Persian food.
Invite accepted. I will take that. And I totally agree with you on having more honor in America. I think we need more of that in our culture as well.